Wow, I look an actual hot mess. This is a super ratchet angle, but we're gonna go with it. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Chelsea Chameleon, and I'm back with another video. And I look a hot mess, like, ooh, my makeup looks a mess, and I also have makeup on my hand, so we love a beauty guru. But for real, this video is not about my lack of makeup skills. This video is about money. Cold, hard cash, moolah, pesos, coins, won, whatever you call your money. It's about money and how to save it. Now, I am horrible at saving money. I am a horrible saver. I am a hoarder. I am a shopaholic. And so those two things right there make me always broke, and I can never afford to do anything that I want or need. But recently, especially since I went to South Korea, I have been learning to save and learning to spend my money more wisely. And I've been learning mostly to budget, especially with my paychecks in between my two jobs. A lot of you guys are K-pop fans, and recently, I don't know if you've noticed, a lot of K-pop groups have been coming to the United States or coming to like Western or like different countries other than South Korea. And so you guys have been wanting to go to these concerts, but sometimes it's hard, okay? Sometimes we don't have the cash just to drop, you know, on like our $200 ticket or a $300 like meet and greet ticket or something. So it can be hard. So I'm gonna like share with you all tips on how to save some money so you can afford K-pop concerts, because I feel like sometimes K-pop concerts are maybe $40 to $100 more expensive than like Western concerts, based on the fact that like they have to come here and that it's like not a super popular thing. K-pop concerts sometimes are more niche type of revenue for some of these venues, so they may charge a little bit more, which means that you will be paying a little bit more. So yeah, I just want to give you some tips on how to save and how to make a budget so you can know whether you can afford some of these ticket prices. And this is actually the start of a new series on my channel, hashtag K-pop Concert 101. Basically, it's going to be a series teaching you all about K-pop concerts, how to navigate them, how to buy tickets, how to afford them, like this video, do's and don'ts during a concert, all that good stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys are excited for this series. I know I am. I have a lot of spicy content for you guys. So yes, without further ado, let's get started. So the first step in affording a K-pop concert is, of course, knowing what concert you want to go to or which concerts you want to go to. I'm not privileged enough to go to like 2 concerts during the same period. Some of you might be, but if you do want to go to like 2 concerts within like a month, then you may have to budget your money and see like what you can and can't afford. So for example, if BTS and EXO are coming to Chicago, well, you may have to sacrifice getting closer seats for the BTS concert, because you know that this concert ticket's a little bit higher, so you may have to like balance it if you want to see both. So it just really depends. So you have to like know what concerts you want to go to, and also just what things you want to do. So the second tip, how to afford K-pop concerts, you need to learn how to budget, especially if you are tight on money or if you don't have freaking paychecks like me, because sometimes, you know, money is tight and I get super broke sometimes. So I definitely have to budget so I can know if I can afford a ticket or not. So I've created a budget for you guys to follow along, and this budget is actually broken down into 3 different parts, and these 3 parts are based on the expenses that are surrounding this K-pop concert, because if you guys don't know, you have more expenses than just the actual ticket price of the concert. So I'm breaking it down into 3 parts. Part 1 is expenses surrounding the concert, the actual concert and the ticketing. So of course, number 1 is your concert price. A lot of venues or a lot of K-pop concerts, depending on your venue, have different sections. So like I'm going to the Red Velvet concert, and there were sections P1 through I think P5, and P P1 is the closest, and then P5 is the furthest away. And so naturally P1 will cost more, and then P5 will cost the least. So you have to know like what section you want to be in, because you may have to budget for that certain section that you want. And depending on your group, if they're doing a meet and greet, it may be a little bit more expensive as well, so you have to budget that in as well. Number 2 are the venue taxes or fees. So a lot of the times the tickets that you'll be buying are either from Ticketmaster, StubHub, or like other sites and ticketing websites. A lot of those times they have actual fees and extra fees, like a service fee, convenience fee, like online fee, like all of these types of fees. Sometimes they can range from $10 to even like $50 or $60, I've heard. So whatever your ticket price is, or like admission price, you have to at least, I would say, tack on $40 to $50 extra, just in case you have to pay those fees. And usually, from my experience, the closer or higher your ticket is, the more fees you have to pay for that ticket. So just keep that in mind when you're making your actual budget. The third thing is taxes. Depending on where you live, you may actually get extra taxes depending on your state, like if you live in the United States or anything, or depending on if there's like some other like festival or event. Sometimes you have to pay just extra taxes associated with your region or where you live, so just look out for that too. I've seen taxes be maybe like $3 to $4, but it just depends on where you live, or if your region is likely to tax for like certain concerts or festivals. And number 4 is a ticket insurance. Now I totally recommend that you get ticket insurance for your tickets, because sometimes life happens and you may not be able to actually make it to the concert, and with that insurance that you pay, you will be able to get basically your full refund back, if not at least half of your refund back, depending on your insurance policy. And these insurances are like real deal. It's with a real insurance company, and you have to file like a claim. You can't just be like, oh, I understand a little bit, and I don't want to go anymore. Like, you have to actually file a claim, like your family is sick or you're in a car wreck or something and you can't make it because of like some extreme circumstance. So you file a claim and they have to approve it, and then they'll give you your money back, most likely. So I recommend that you get that, depending on like the venue or whatever, or the ticketing website. Insurance is between $10 to $30. Recently for the Red Velvet ticket that I paid for, it was $10. So it was pretty cheap. And also this is the same with like flights and stuff, like other like, you know, accommodations. Sometimes you have to pay insurance. So I would totally budget for that as well. Alrighty, so on to the second category of expenses, and these are expenses surrounding the city that you're traveling to. Now if you're from that city, so say for instance you're from Atlanta and BTS like went to Atlanta, well, you don't have to pay like extra fees because you already live there, unless you live maybe in the spokes and you have to travel anyway. But if you are from that city, don't worry about it. But if you aren't, you probably will have to pay for transportation, lodging, food, all these other costs that you would have to pay for because you're going to a new city. So I kind of broke down in my budget some of the things that you would have to pay for this K-pop concert basically. So number 1 is your hotel or Airbnb price. Depending on what hotel or Airbnb that you get, I would budget at least $100 to $300 depending on how long you want to stay there. To me, like K-pop concerts, I'm only there for like 1 to 2 days max, so maybe 1 to 2 nights stay. So I'm not really budgeting a lot for that. I'm trying to stay cheap. I just want somewhere to hold my luggage, you know, take a shower, and just go to the concert without worrying about my stuff getting stolen. So yeah, I don't really care too much about my lodging, but if you do care about that, you may have to budget a little bit more. Number 2 is your transportation to the city. So you can either take a bus, an airplane, a car, depending on how far you live, or depending on if you drive or not. And with your car, of course, you have to pay gas money, or if you're carpooling with someone, you probably should be paying that person some gas money. So you have to budget for that. It just depends on how far you're traveling. For example, I'm traveling from Tennessee to Chicago, so it may be an upwards of $200 for either my flight or for a bus or even like a carpool. So I would just make sure you have that in your budget. Number 3 are any extra fees that are associated associated with traveling. I like to account for this for like luggage. So for example, with certain flights and Greyhounds, they charge you like extra money if you have like extra luggages or extra bags. So if you know that you need 2 suitcases for a one-day trip, and then I would totally budget like $25 to $30 for those extra like travel fees. Number 4 is probably the most important, and it is food. Unless you just plan to starve until you see your faves, you're probably gonna eat when you're in the new city. So breakfast, lunch, and or dinner, depending on the time of the concert and stuff. So I would totally budget at least $50 for that, especially if you have to travel to bigger cities. Like convenience store prices, little snack prices are probably going to be 2 to 3 times more expensive than it may be in your hometown if you are from a smaller town. So I would just definitely budget enough money for food. And for number 5, if you're not from the city, you have to get around the city. So I would budget money for transportation around that city, because more than likely your hotel may not be within walking distance of the venue. If it is, then you're super lucky, but more than likely it may not be. So you may have to Uber, catch a bus, public transportation, or if you did drive there or drive with your friends, then you may have to, you know, pay for gas and stuff like that to get to the actual venue. And also parking, especially in bigger cities, parking is not free, so you would definitely have to pay for park depending on where you are. And one thing I like to note, especially for an Uber or even public transportation, you have to budget for money going towards the venue, like before the concert and after. I remember for the SHINee concert, we totally budgeted enough money to catch the Uber to the concert, but afterwards the Ubers were very, very expensive, and so we didn't prepare for that. In hindsight, we probably should have drove to the venue, because we only would have had to pay that one-time parking fee, and we could have left whenever we wanted to. Ubers that night were like $40 to $50, which was like crazy expensive. So you just have to account for how much, you know, you have to spend. So if you know you want to leave right away, you may have to pay like $40 to $50 for an Uber, as opposed to like 6 or 7. So just make sure that you know how much it's going to cost going towards the venue and leaving the venue. Alright, and then the third category for your budget is extras. So these aren't really required in your trip. This is just stuff that I personally like to budget for, because K-pop concerts especially are very special, and I want to make them memorable, and I want to like be extra with them. So I like to have this in my budget. So the first thing is concert merch. I actually really don't buy that much concert merch. I only bought like a Minho fan when I went to the SHINee concert. But if you are a big like K-pop merch person, then please budget for this. Like I would say at least $50 to $60, and that's going really cheap because K-pop concert merch is very expensive. So yeah, I would just budget enough money for that. If you know, want to be decked out in your merch or have like a light sticker or something, I would definitely budget money for that. Number 2 is the fan projects or merch that fans may sell. Sometimes outside of the venue, like they have fan projects or banners. You may have to pay a couple of bucks for that if you want to like hold like a banner or a sign to like be in solidarity with like the rest of the people at the concert. Or sometimes people are selling like little keychains or wallets or something, and if you think it's cute and you want to buy it, I would budget some money for that as well. Number 3 is a cute outfit, and you're probably like, really a cute outfit. And yes, I love dressing up and being super cute during K-pop concerts. I literally plan my outfit like months or weeks or whatever in advance when I know I'm going to a K-pop concert. So I take pride in wearing a cute outfit, even if, you know, they're not gonna like see you up close. You just feel good and you just feel confident when going to the concert, and it just, you know, makes for good pictures and stuff. So depending on if you already have cute clothes or not, you have to go to the mall and like, you know, buy some more pieces or some accessories. So I would also budget for an outfit. And then number 4 is grooming. So if you want to get your hair done or your nails done, you know, or your eyebrows done or your makeup done or anything like that, I would also budget for that, especially if you were doing meet and greets. I think grooming is especially important for meet and greets. If you're like meeting your favorite K-pop idol or something, I just, you know, would want to look my best. I wouldn't want to look ratchet. So that's why I really, you know, pride in having like a cute outfit and like having my hair, my makeup and nails done, because I don't want to look a mess in front of these people and, you know, let them know that they have an ugly fan like me. I'm kidding. But yeah, I think it's a lot more important to meet and greets. I mean, you know, beauty is subjective, but yeah, I just, you know, especially for meet and greets, you want to look your best. So if you want to get yourself groomed, you know, hair done, all that stuff, then I would also budget for that. Hey guys, so this is what I was talking about with my little budget and my little template that I created, and I will have this in a Google Doc linked like down below for you guys to use. But I had it in my little categories. So this is for the concert, this is for your city expenses if you're traveling, and then this is for any extra fees. And right here, like I said, your concert price, your venue fees, your taxes and insurance. And if you want, like at the bottom of each category, you could just put a little total marked so you can see how much each category would be. And then you have your hotel, transportation through the city, or transportation to the city, extra fees, food, and then transportation through the city. And then I just put different types of categories, and then for each of the different transportations, I just put like to and from, depending on if you have certain expenses to and from the venue. And then down here, extras, you know, merch, outfits, grooming, and fan projects and all that stuff. I will have this link down below. I just wanted to like give you all a quick little picture snapshot of what it looks like. Alright you guys, so that is it. Those are all my tips on how to budget for a K-pop concert and how to afford one. Depending on like your situation, you can just use my little guideline. I'll put a template of the budget down in the comments so you guys can like copy and paste it and like put it in like an Excel sheet or Word document or anything, or print it off, and so you can actually start making yourself a budget of your own, because I really think it's super helpful. And you can also add different categories if you know that you have other expenses when you travel or when you're going to a K-pop concert. I just think it's really helpful. And even before you decide to go to a concert or not, I would honestly just fill this out and maybe research like Airbnb prices, flight prices, you know, the average food and meal cost in a certain city if you're traveling there, and I would actually fill it in and just, you know, see like, okay, you know, I have so and so amount of checks or amount of, you know, paychecks or whatever, or bills that I have to pay, and right now this is what my budget is going to be. This is how much all these expenses are going to be, you know, if I decide to go to this K-pop concert. And then you need to weigh your options and see, well, can I actually afford this or can I actually do this? If you can barely afford it, maybe you have to get a lower price ticket, which means you have to sit farther away, which is perfectly fine. Like, you're still seeing this artist and you can still say that, hey, I've seen so and so in concert. So I don't think it's a bad thing if you're not up close. I personally like to be up close, but I mean, if I'm not, then it's fine as long as I, you know, see their face for a little bit. It's fine. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys found these tips helpful. Comment down below and let me know if I missed any other tips about how to afford K-pop concerts. I just want you guys to like create a platform and just share any tips or any useful information. And yeah, I will see you guys with episode 2 in this series, and it's gonna be how to actually purchase K-pop concert tickets. But yes, I'm really excited for this series. If you haven't already, be sure that you're subscribed for more K-pop related videos. I make a ton of more K-pop related videos on my channel, so go check those out down below. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Stay colorful. Bye bye.